Hey there, and welcome back to the Bear Farmer YouTuber channel. So what we're going to do today, and I'm really excited about this, is we're going to talk about how to design what you're going to plant in this indoor garden bed, or for an outdoor garden bed if that's what you're doing. But here in Nebraska, where it is 9 degrees outside right now in the middle of winter, I don't have the option to plant anything outside, so inside is what I've got to go with. However, I want to make sure that I maximize as much planting space in here as I can. And what a lot of people use, and I like it as well, is called the square foot gardening method. Now, as you can see, I've created this template that fits right inside of here that divides the garden bed easily up into 1 foot sections. There are many resources online, and I'll include the one that I used in the link below that you'll see a little bit periodically here as I go through, as I talk about how to design what you want in here, because we want to make sure that we don't overload this space with too many vegetables and therefore crowd out things, or have vegetables that grow way taller than everything else around them, and we can't get enough light to everything else because we have to keep moving the light fixture too far away, and we end up robbing some of the light from our vegetables in here. Now, this wouldn't be a huge problem outside or if you had this thing next to a window, but where I grow, here in the garage, I have to make sure that I plan out exactly where everything goes to make sure that I maximize my light efficiency. If you had this bed outside, it wouldn't be that big of a deal because the sun is going to evenly space and hit whatever you have in here, unless you have partial shade plants, in which case you're going to need to take a little bit more precaution in planting and what direction and where you're planting them out of your yard. The next big thing that we have to discuss is that in here, we're going to have to make sure that we record what we're planting here every year, because as I've previously said in other videos, I don't want to be pulling the soil out and re-putting it in every year. So we have to be cognizant of crop rotation in here and not planting the same things in the same spots every single time that we plant, because some of our plants don't like growing in other plants in the same plant's roots and would rather grow in another plant's roots because they can make use of that for nutrition. So we have to make sure that we're rotating what's in each one of these squares every single time that we plant something new. Now I've gone ahead and laid it out in the way that you see here on the screen. So I'm going to go ahead and plant that stuff directly into the soil the way it is now, and then we'll talk about what our next step is. Now that I've got all that planted, the next thing I'm going to do is go ahead and add the compost and the fertilizer to the top layer. So I'm going to go ahead and knock that out. And then I'll go ahead and water it in. And the reason we went ahead and added all of the compost and fertilizer now is because the organic fertilizers that I'm using takes a little bit to get moving and get those microbes moving in the soil to start breaking it down and giving the plants food. So if I do it now when there's still seeds growing, by the time they get old enough to need the food will be readily available to them, and the compost can start breaking down now and start leaching into that soil that we've built underneath of there and feeding the plants. So that is the reason why I did that. So now that that's planted, we're going to check in on it every couple of weeks and see where we're at and see how things grow in this growing medium. I'm pretty excited about it. So if you have any questions, please leave them in the comments below. It'd be great to hear from you. Also, thanks for watching. Till next time, God bless, and we'll see you next time.